Good morning, rise. Oh, get the yawns out. I know I gotta yawn. And shine. Are you shining? Are you shining? East Coasters, it's 9 a.m. Shine. I still feel like I'm still waking up. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because I got up like extra early yesterday and was just like on it. That today, everything's like, okay, we'll compensate. Be a little extra cozy. I don't know about you guys, but last night I discovered I actually really like jazz. And I felt like I was back in the 20s. I just reclined on my couch, had my tea. Actually, it was just water last night. And I was reading a book, and then I was just like, hey, I'm just going to relax here and listen to jazz. Mind you, I'm a punk rock kid. Like, I used to hate jazz. So I was all like nice and relaxed, and I was like passing out on the couch. So I think that's why I'm a little sleepy, because I feel like I slept in a little bit. So, all right, my butt was up at 4:30 in the morning anyway. So I'm working on shining. What about you? Good morning, Steve. All right, let's get, no, I don't want to leave. Stay on this page. Let's get this working on my cell phone. There we go. Okay, cool. So you see the thing? You know where you are. You're at TQN, the Quarantine Network. You know who you're with? Wild Blossom Beacon. Who the F is that? That's me, Cassandra Renee. It's this girl right here. And what is today? In case you guys haven't been keeping track, because it's so easy to lose track. Unless you're like me and you're on here 5 days a week. So it's kind of like an actual job. Except the paycheck just hasn't come in yet. You know, you're Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And today is Wednesday. And it is what's maybe not working Wednesday. Zach, hi, buddy. Good morning. I was thinking about you this morning. Actually, Zach's one of my bestest pals. So what's the theme with what's maybe not working Wednesday? The theme with that is I would love for you to type in and tell me what is working for you, whether we're talking about specifically during quarantine, like, hey, I had this awesome win. I don't know about you, but here's what I'm doing, and it's pretty cool. Or, you know what's really not working? Freaking isolation. That sucks. That's not working. Anyone have any tips? Oh, by the way, that's kind of what this whole network's about. So if you have questions, comments, or concerns, you can check on the network, and I'm sure someone's got something for you. I mean, this whole thing started with memes. And I looked at it, and I saw it was a friend of mine who created it, and I was just like, eh. I almost didn't join. And then I was like, Spirit was like, no, go ahead, join. And I was like, it's not Spirit, it's just an impulse. I like things, okay. And then I got the download, and I won't bore you with the story, but if you go back and watch previous episodes, which I am in the process, they're like more than halfway uploaded on YouTube. Really cool. So if you want, I will post the link in the comments when we're done here. I got my YouTube up and going, so now you can go ahead and binge watch everything in order. The Quarantine Network has been doing a super awesome job of putting things in categories, and there's a unit specifically for self-development, and most of the videos that I've done are on here. But if there are some gaps, because I mean, they've got like a million things going on at once. And oh, by the way, no one's getting paid to do this. So big ups to everyone behind the scenes, the other hosts, the production managers. Yes, we have production managers. Guys, we are doing things. Big ups to everybody behind the scenes that's working. So if you want to binge watch, go check out the units over here. Not unique, but unit. Two totally different things. Over here on the Quarantine Network. And if you specifically want to see little me in all my glory, you can go to YouTube, look up Cassandra Renee. You got to spell my name correctly to find me. That is your reward. Good morning, Christina Marie, you beautiful, beautiful person there. So if you love this, you can go over to, you can search Cassandra Renee, gotta know how to spell my name, on YouTube, and you can find mostly all of the episodes I've done up until this point. The rest of them should be uploaded today. So yeah, and one more housekeeping thing while I have your attention before we dive into today. For those of you who are interested in coaching, because in case you didn't know, Wild Blossom Bacon Coaching, that's the name of my business. That's what I do. I help you discover what your hidden limiting beliefs are, help you work through them. And usually what happens is this. Someone says, hey, Cassandra, I've got this thing in life. It sucks. I don't know what to do about it. Or they're like, hey, I've got this goal and I'm stuck and I don't know how to go about it. And I say, all right, let's talk about some stuff. And we basically discover all these crazy things, these kind of hippy-dippy things that I've been walking you through. If you've been following along, it's inception. I get to ya. Because working on things on the surface is kind of like just putting a Band-Aid. The Band-Aid doesn't heal the wound. The body and all the organisms and the healthy bacteria and all the stuff, the cells and everything, and sometimes medication, that is what heals the wound. The Band-Aid just protects all the outside crap from getting in, mostly. And so I help you do all the stuff under here. And I also help you go down here and grab all this stuff and get rid of it. So then you can heal naturally. That's what I do. But I do it in a way that's fun. People lately have been telling me I'm funny, so that's a plus, I guess. And as always with everything I do, take whatever serves you. And you should actually kind of just take this philosophy in life. And I'm not talking about the whole like millennial ignorance thing, because that actually is a little different and it doesn't really work. No offense, millennials. If you're offended, maybe there's some truth to that. Big thing in life to learn, not just millennials, but everybody. If you find something that really irks you, for better or worse, jealousy, annoyance, aggravation, etc., etc., etc. That's kind of one of my things. If you're a theater geek or whatever, somebody tell me where that's from, etc., etc., and then you'll get like thumbs up from me. Anyway, I was going somewhere with that. Got derailed. I almost gave it away of what derailment was from. Anyway, that's what I do. That's what I'm here for. And I am hosting a free group coaching. Now, by the way, anytime anyone is interested in getting their problem solved or worked on whatnot, working with me, you're curious, I always offer a free, I call it a clarity call. And it's, yes, the king and I, thank you. I always offer a free half-hour clarity call. So we'll just talk about the stuff and see if we're a good fit. And I know sometimes that can be intimidating. So to mix it up, this Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if I am hosting, now the clarity calls are one per person, but the webinars are free for whoever wants them, as many times as I have them, as many times as you would like to go. It's open format, group coaching. Y'all get to ask me whatever you want, which you're totally welcome to do here, by the way. Although here I kind of have more of a structured-ish agenda. And there it's more like, what you got? Let's solve some problems. Let's give you some breakthroughs, because I'm all about taking action. Lectures can only do so much, and they're only so interesting. And I know I'm kind of funny and kind of interesting, but you can only watch so much. So to really get things, you need actionable content. And so that's my aim anytime I'm on here live with you, especially in the webinars. So if you're interested in attending the webinar, you have to have, it's going to be on Zoom. So you have to have the link, which means I have to have your email. Thursday morning, I will send out the email so that you can join Friday afternoon. Okay, housekeeping done. So again, today is what's maybe or maybe not working Wednesday. Tell me what's going on, what's awesome for you, what's maybe not so much, and we can kind of work it out together in a group. Before we go in, it looks like Zach has something, so I'm going to get to that. And then if no one else has anything, we'll go right into my stuff. Zach, I actually managed to knock out writing a 40-page ebook on booking shows, and the first episode, before I even go any further, what? That's awesome. So Zach and I actually met. You guys probably don't know this. I actually used to work in the music industry. In fact, that's what my degree is in. No, I'm everywhere. I am omnipotent. I am everywhere. So we actually met at CMJ, College Music Journal. It used to be an annual conference. I don't think they have it anymore, in New York City. And we have been friends ever since. So he's stayed in the industry. Obviously, I have not. And that's awesome. A 40-page ebook on booking shows. Amazing. First episode of a podcast that's being locked down. Amazing. We need to talk offline about the podcast because I have been having podcasts for the past 5 days screaming in my ear, and I think I'm finally going to listen. So let's talk about that. I want to hear about it. What do you guys think? Should I start a podcast? Is this the same thing? I'm such a noob when it comes to technology and social media. Is this a podcast? Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? What am I doing? How do I do it? Tell me what to do. So awesome about that. All the blip I've been talking about doing for a minute is actually getting done. Yes! Someone is being productive in a time when we have all the freedom in the world to do absolutely nothing. Yes. And also, something you didn't talk about, but you have been doing, and humble little brag about him. So Zach is actually in a Blink-182 cover band, and they are awesome. And they've actually done a couple of tours around the States, and they're called Dude Ranch and the Girl at the Rock Show for anyone who's interested. And during the first few days of quarantine, he found himself bored and decided to write a cover to one of our mutual friends' big hits, Hey There Delilah. Maybe you've heard of it. And I forgot what you titled it. Hey There COVID-19, or Hey There Corona, I think you called it. Anyway, it's brilliant. He's got a couple others that he wrote that are brilliant. So shout out to Zach, Dude Ranch and Girl at the Rock Show. Go check out his covers. He's right there in the comments. So yeah, his stuff is great. It's funny. And did anyone else just see that floater that just went up by me? Is that just me? Angels. Such a useful degree to have. Yeah. My degree is, I'm going to just, yep, there's the degree. Anyhow, cool. So awesome. Anything else that any of you guys are doing, which I totally want to celebrate your wins with you? I don't think we do that enough in society in general, because we're so used to, having a degree of envy and jealousy and, and it's interesting because I keep two different schools. I like to have balance in all things. And I keep two different schools that I pay attention to with my mentors. I've got my very distinctive, not super feminine, it's all girly and sunshine and rainbows, more of the queenly mentality, which my mentor that I've been talking about a lot lately, because I'm actively being mentored by her, and also I'm reading her book that she just released. But she talks a lot about the queen archetype and being in your divine. The queen is the masterful blend of the divine feminine and divine masculine. Not that, it's all feminine, all masculine. And it's knowing when to activate, because we all, men and women, have masculinity and femininity in us. So I really like that because it speaks to, I definitely have way more of a masculine upbringing. And so it helps me tap into my own inner feminine strengths and bring more of that out, but to be able to craft it in a way that best serves me, because driving full force, and again, this goes for both men and women, driving full force only on one is only using one half of your brain for the whole duration of your life. Not everything's gonna work the right way that you would like it to all the time. So there is such a thing as balance, and you can get there, and we're all still learning, right? Work in progress. Anyway, so I keep that camp, but then I've also got these other fierce camps, like Patrick Bet-David and Grant Cardone that are like, masculine, huh? Like, use that fear, use that anger, get angry. Like, they encourage it. Like, yeah, because then you're going to direct that. And it's so interesting. They both have compassion, yes. Cardone tends to have a little bit more, it seems. But then Patrick Bet-David also has, he was an Iraqi refugee. When he was a child, he was a Marine. And so he's got a harder background than at least that I know of from Cardone. So I keep these two different camps. I've got Marie Forley over here that's just dancing around and being awesome. So I keep, and it's very important, to be aware of not just the friends that you keep in your life, but the media content that you surround yourself with. If you're watching consistent mind-numbing reality TV all the time, no wonder you're just sitting around being jealous of everyone and everything, and just kind of, maybe trying here and there. If you watch some of my earlier episodes, try is a word that I have proactively been working to eliminate out of my life because it doesn't even exist. And actually, I was really excited to share this with you. Little side note, look up the definition of no. So, because you have a little bit of time, don't do it right now. Stay with me. I want your attention. But when you have time, look up in the dictionary, the definition of try. And when you rationalize it, it actually doesn't mean anything. It doesn't exist. And neither does the word no. Granted, it's a base word. It's a root word, which everything else kind of has a derivative meaning from. So it's kind of very, very difficult to have, okay, well, what does it actually mean? Like, it's one of those things we know what it means, but the literal definition is, because remember when you're a kid, they tell you if you're going to define something, you can't use the word in the definition. Even Google was like doing everything possible to not use the word no in the definition of no. And I just started laughing. I'm like, oh, no doesn't exist, which means there are no limits. That means limits don't exist, which means I literally can do and have anything I desire. So that's a little nugget to have. Where was I going before that? People you surround yourself with. So, podcasts, mentors, emails that you get. I'm working to be more diligent on my newsletter weekly. I just put a second one out in a row this Monday. So again, also, if you'd like to get weekly words that don't go for an hour in length, and you'd like to get my true heartfelt in your inbox, send me your email and I'll get you signed up for that as well. As usual, you're smart enough human beings, don't send your email in the comments because, scary people out there can take it and then you get spam. So send me a DM for that. So they say that you are the average of the 5 people you have, that you surround yourself with. So love y'all. Some of you aren't hanging out with the brightest bulbs in the bunch. Some of you are kind of keeping ties with people that maybe it's time to fly the coop. And guess what? Being in quarantine is a great excuse to, oh man, we drifted apart. Mean Girls! Yay! Mean Girls has a reference for everything in life. Mean Girls is I'm just gonna say it. Zach, this is why we're best friends. I love you. It is just Dude Ranch now. Okay, cool. I'm a gem. Thank you. We will definitely chat offline about people not being happy for their so-called friends when they get a win. Those stinkers! You know what? Positivity breeds positivity, just like negativity breeds negativity. And the people who judge and the people who stink, you really want to be around people who stink? I mean, not really anyway, but we're told that we have to be polite and we have to be nice, and that is going to make us friends. Do you want to be friends with a smelly kid? Okay, great. Be a martyr. Hooray. Does the martyr have a fun life? I don't know. I'm working on not being her anymore. I can tell you what, she had fun times, but overall, she wasn't very happy. And if you are the smelly kid, you don't have to be. There are things you can do. Remember that episode? Write down the things that you can do something about, and then the things that you can't. Okay, you might not be able to do things about your genetics. But if your attitude stinks, you can do something about that. I actually, I wasn't going to share this. This is the beauty of getting me live unscripted. You get you get stuff real personal and stuff I wasn't planning on sharing. I got some not awesome news last night. For those of you who have been following, I was in a car accident. No fault of my own. I was rear-ended in November, and I'm a very, glass half full kind of. Well, actually, I'm starting to be more of the glass is just beautiful kind of person versus half full or half empty. Because why does everything have to be one or the other? Oh, right. Because humans were like, oh, the world is so big. We need to put rules and confines, and we need to put fences and things so we can understand and compartmentalize, because it's this big, scary place and I'm just small. So we said, okay, it's this, that. Well, can't it just be? And at the moment, my tea is like actually all the way full, which is awesome. So I'm like, the accident happened, and as soon as it happened, I was just like, no physical, like outwardly physical damage. I am thrilled this happened because something good's gonna happen. Everyone's like, you're nuts. Why? You just became a victim. I'm like, well, I don't have to be a victim. I literally went and got my eyelashes done the next day. And of course I was late and I was very slow, and I apologized. And she was like, oh my God, like I was dressed up, I looked cute. And she was like, you look fabulous. And we're talking. She's like, wait, you were just in a car accident yesterday? And I was like, just because you got into a car wreck doesn't mean you need to look like one, right? Trust me, I was feeling it. And not in the good way. Not like, feeling this. Blink, hot. Didn't even plan that. I wasn't feeling it like that. I was feeling it like this. And anyway, so I was just like, whatever, like I think I'm all right. Like I was in shock, and then the concussion and the whiplash set in later, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm not fine. Maybe I gotta go to the hospital. So anyway, been seeing lots of doctors, getting it taken care of, whatever. I'm a smart cookie. In case you haven't noticed, I've been losing track of my thoughts here and there. Whatever. Chucked it up. Blonde moments, lack of caffeine. Well, I got confirmation yesterday that that's not really the case. Turns out my brain got a little shaken. And by a little shaken, I mean a lot shaken. And by a lot shaken, I mean my neurologist was like, please don't read my report. And frankly, I'm really impressed with how well you function. So we're just gonna leave it at that before I get all so forgive me when I lose train of thought. Now that my body has been recovering, the brain is taking over and be like, oh yeah, remember me? Not functioning so hot. So that's why I have notes. So I love interacting with you guys, and I love tangents, but this is kind of the result of that. So working on it. But the point of that is the wonderful thing about brains, and maybe this wasn't the original point, but it's a new point I'm making now. And the wonderful thing about brains is that they're plastic. Now, the older we get, the less plasticity we have. What does that mean? That means that they can move and mold and shape, like how we say when babies are born that they're sponges, right? Their brains just, they absorb everything. And so it's very important to surround them with the right music, colors, like a full sensory experience. Well, same as you get older, just because you're turning into the person you are doesn't mean that you shouldn't stop surrounding yourself with things that help you achieve your goals. That's why vision boards are so important. That's why positive playlists are so important. That's why mentors and right friends and people like that are so important. So, so what's cool about that, there's this thing called neuroplasticity, and it's the ability for your brain, and I've talked about this in previous videos, it's the ability of your brain to rewire and develop new neurological pathways. And that's the way that your brain figures out how to do things. Just like programming your GPS to take a different route to get someplace. And so when you've got these negative thoughts, when you've got these habits, you're able, instead of being the stinky kid with a stinky attitude, like, okay, what can I do about this? Could I shower? Could I maybe use deodorant? Maybe it's my attitude. And if you saw my episode yesterday, I talked about the experiment with the apples, right? Or the fruit, where you're just shit talking to one and then you're just doting on the other. And it physically manifests where one is just rotting and the other is just, it's pretty well intact for like weeks. And that's the same that happens to us as humans. And so when you've been working on this kind of stuff to yourself, martyrs do it for other people, not themselves. So you have to do it to yourself before you can start doing it. I had to do it for myself before I could ever do this for you guys. And that is how I'm able to come offline and not be totally exhausted and then just curl up in a ball and hide under the covers the rest of the day until my next segment. Because it's that whole concept of it's your responsibility as a human, and more so as a human that's coming out and speaking to you and being here for you, to fill up your cup, not only all the way for you, for then you to have some of it, but to fill it up all the way so that it overflows and then give from the overflow. So when you're able to create these neurological pathways, it's literally like making a path in the woods for any of my country bumpkins out there. Yeah, the weeds are tall and it scratches you and you get branches and cuts and thorns and stuff along the way. But the more you go, the more that path smooths for more people to go through, or the more that you go through. And eventually you have this beaten path. Right? So you are able to do that, and then it just gets easier and it becomes part of your programming. And so that's how, when this car accident happened, I was able to basically immediately just be like, it's okay, it's all good, it's all good, we're good, you're good, I'm good, cool. Something awesome is going to come from this. And it's not like it's always going to go great. Like when you start to be like, I'm going to start doing self-development, I'm going to be awesome all the time. Not like that. That's life. But you're able to have the tools, which is what my goal is to give you guys tools to be able to get to your happier places and an easier state of life and achieve your goals faster and easier by having these handy. And it makes things a lot more interesting and fun. And that's where you can kind of seem to like bend things. So yesterday I had a dip, right? And that's the thing. Things will get darker before they get lighter. We talked about in another video, the water gets dark and scary and murky before you can get down and see all the amazing, beautiful, bright colored, fantastical sea creatures or oceanic creatures down below. And most people are too afraid to go on the surface. So going all the way back to where I was going with this, about looking at the people you surround yourself with, being in quarantine, perfect opportunity. Because yes, you can stay connected via social media, old-fashioned telephone, or even, I've been seeing some stuff where people will like meet up and, talk across the creek from each other or something like super sweet like that. My sister, actually, her grandmother missed her. My stepsister, her grandmother missed her so much that she texted her. She drove up to her house. She stayed in the car and she called her on the phone and she looked through the window. And my sister, I don't know if she stayed in the house. I think she came out to her porch or something. And so they were kind of got to see each other a little bit. Like, it's sweet things like that. Like, anyway, So yes, you can still stay connected, but this is a great time for self-reflection and be like, oh, sorry, I gotta stay inside. You know what? It's cool because I'm working on some stuff. And you don't have to make excuses for doing personal development work. No is a complete sentence. And especially if you're from the East Coast, especially the upper, the Northeast, where we have a bad rap for being rude. Many of you might not realize it. I'm actually from New York. And I've actually been told by people that they were disappointed because I'm so nice and zen. And I'm like, well, I'm not drunk and I'm not pissed off. You get me one of those, the accent will come out. But to be fair, I'm originally from like the Buffalo, Rochester area, so I don't really have an accent. Full disclosure, I've lived in Long Island, I've lived in Brooklyn, so I've got my cred. But we had a reputation because we're so upfront about our feelings, about our beliefs. And the phrase New York Minute is a real thing because there's so much going on. There's so much possibility. There's so much opportunity that we literally don't have time for anything that doesn't serve us, doesn't interest us. And there's a real lesson. There's a value in that. Take that into your everyday life. Does it serve you? Does it interest you? No? Then why are you wasting time on it? No, really. Why? Because especially as the past few weeks have shown us, life is precious and life is short and it is uncertain. So it's a really good time to reevaluate things and be like, what are my real goals? What do I really desire to achieve? And how have I been putting it off? And how can that stop now? We are given a time right now that we can procrastinate everything. And I don't remember the last time I've been bored. I do. I remember one time I've been bored in my entire adult life. And that was because I was on a boat that was supposed to only be a couple hours and it ended up being an all-day thing. And I didn't bring a book. That's who you're listening to right now. Okay. I was bored on a boat. Granted, I also wasn't drinking because I had work that I had to do, and my understanding was we're just going to be here for a little bit, and then we're going to go home, and then I'm going to go do the things I have to do. So I probably could have had a little bit more fun had I been drinking, had I known. But yeah, because there's always something to do. I've got so many ambitions, so many things, and to hear that people are bored, I'm just kind of looking at people going, "Would you like me to delegate?" So this is a perfect time to reevaluate and be like, okay, well, this person does kind of have this tendency to be the envious one or be the jealous one. Well, that's the same thing, I guess. Be the naysayer, be the downer of the group. This person tends to kind of be bossy. This person tends to make everything about them. This person tends to give me a hard time about everything and whether or not they eventually give in. And this person tends to not have any goal. I've dumped guys because they just didn't have ambition. Pure hearts, treated me so well, sweetest, nicest guys, but I'm like, I can't because, and part of it was my own issues when I'm running around doing all the things and I come home and you're just like, what have you done today? Nothing. How do you live with yourself? Type A doesn't work with type B or others. It doesn't play well with others who aren't type A as well. But that's the other thing. There's that too. So you got to know your people. You got to know you. So this is the perfect time to take a look at and do that work. Like, who am I really? What am I really seeking to do? And how have I been letting life, work, obligations, other people get in the way, which we know is a bunch of BS. We allowed them. We created the excuses. We created the walls. We created the no's. We created the confines to give us the freedom to be able to say no. Now, to give you a little bit of slack before you start beating yourself up on like, crap, I'm the reason I haven't succeeded. Well, yeah. But to give you a little bit more slack, one of my other mentors, Danielle Laporte, now she is on we're talking about the femininity, masculinity scale. She is feminine. Her head, I don't think she actually walks on the ground. Love her. She talks about I'm so sorry. Rewind. Hang on. Oh my goodness. I apologize, guys. So she was talking about granting yourself compassion and how sometimes procrastination is actually a form of divine intervention. Now, that's not to give you a hall pass for every time you say, I'm just going to eat ice cream and watch Netflix instead of working out today because I don't feel like it. That's not what we're saying here. What we're saying is that especially for the times that you don't necessarily have a good reason for why you're not doing something, I don't know. I can't bring myself to get up and do it. I know it's easy. I know it's sometimes you just need that extra shift of perspective. Sometimes it's that easy. Sometimes there's a hidden limiting belief that you have to extract. But sometimes this is the other perspective, and this is why it's good to have, in my opinion, to have that balance of that spectrum of mentors I keep in my pocket or my phone. Sometimes maybe you're not meant to. Could be another way of saying, it's not meant to be. I can't stand those cliches. I like these reframes. Maybe it's not happening or you haven't done it because there's a different way. There's something better. There's something that's going to push you to be a little bit more creative, or it's going to push you past that comfort zone into your actual zone of genius. And by going for it and doing the thing, you just be kind of in that blasé zone. Like, it's possible. It could be totally wrong, but it's possible. And when you're open to these possibilities, that's when magic happens. And how do you open to these possibilities? You learn who you are and you learn who your people are and decide, okay, well, do I need to surround myself with you, or do I kind of need to lovingly let you go? And if you're interested in learning how to lovingly let somebody go, let me know. We can cover that in the webinar if you like. I also have an entire segment in my 90-day coaching program about that. And I have a lot less blank spots in the 90-day coaching program because all of that was done before my car accident. And there are 48 pre-recorded videos all on that stuff. That's probably like 60 hours at least of content in addition to all the other things you get. So I'm sharp on that stuff. So all that big long tangent had nothing to do with where I was going today, but I like it. I like where you get me going because I think I'm giving you some real practical nuggets from my nugget. Are we good? Are we cool? Can we move on? There's like a massive delay I'm noticing from like my cell phone to the present. So I'm just going to give it a second to see if you have anything. Okay. So as of right now, according to my cell phone, I just took my sip of tea. So I think that gives enough time for you guys to be writing in. So hopefully comments will show up. If not, I am going to move on in the meantime anyway. So where I was going today, if you haven't learned by now, it's a good idea to have a journal with you when you watch my videos. A, because I'll give you assignments, and B, because half the time I come up with stuff out of my own butt that if you ask me to repeat it, I probably can't reword it even before the accident. So they're just good nuggets to jot down. Lucky for you, all of this is recorded so you can get it later anyway. But it's good to have because I go through, like, again, my goal is to give you actionable ways that you can leave your laptop, TV, phone, whatever it is that you're using to watch me on, which thank you, by the way, for watching. I'm very grateful to have you guys here. Whether it's super freaking early for you on the West Coast or, relatively normal for you on the East Coast, or I've got viewers over in Thailand and I think Mexico might be the same time zone as us, but I think I have some viewers over in Germany, I want to say, Luxembourg. So shout out to my international viewers. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. So whatever time of day or night it is for you here, I appreciate you so much being here, whether you're watching live or recorded. It means the world to me, and you are exactly why I keep doing this. So thank you. So if you have your journals and notebooks ready, I wish I had like a soundboard. Notebook. Wait, was that Dora the Explorer, or was that because I was trying to do the Blues Clues? Dude, because I liked him. Dora was after my time. Blues Clues. That was Blues Clues. I remember that. That was also a little after my time, but I still wasn't ready to like get rid of my youth, so I like pretended I was watching it with my sister when like I was turning it on for her, but really I was just kind of like, I thought Steve was kind of cute. Okay, whatever. Anyway, what we're doing today is don't judge me. I didn't know about his total opposite of philanthropy, philanderings. Why are those two words so similar? That's just wrong. Anyway, today our initial intention was to talk about the ways we deflect positivity. So kind of like a journaling exercise. And we can also turn this into a discussion for those of you who like to be interactive. Some good examples from personal experience when somebody compliments you. So basically, deflecting positivity is the receiving version of a backhanded compliment, because it's really what you're doing. So a backhanded compliment, right, is where somebody is just like, oh, so glad you did that, like an hour late. You're welcome. Not totally useful. And sadly, a lot of people, well, first off, most people, when they give backhanded compliments, they don't think. It just comes out. It's word vomit. So there's that, which can be cured. It's called thinking about thinking. But yes, there's mean intentions there. The goal isn't necessarily to compliment when they give that. But it's more kind of just like filler conversation. It's filler words. Just like, hey, how's it going? Good. How are you? Like, you're not actually asking. You're not actually wanting to know. And the other person isn't like wanting to tell you. It's just formal conversation. So that's kind of a way to kind of just let it roll off your back when you do get a backhanded compliment. Even though it can sting. And this is where we can go into that midday mind shift from the other day. Like, hey, I know maybe you didn't realize what you said or you didn't mean it, but I would appreciate if either you just said thanks or, I could have, it kind of made me feel like crap, not really motivated to keep doing this nice thing that I did. When you end it with that last piece, didn't really need that. There's ways, there's an art to it. So deflecting positivity is the receiving version of a backhanded compliment. So this one is not a personal experience. I just threw it out there for other people because I was a cheerleader. I was not a basketball player. But, someone scores a layup. Like, hey, nice layup, man. Thanks, but I still need to work on my 3-point shots. Okay, maybe you do, but that doesn't discount that you just made a layup. And we were talking about the layup, not the 3-point shot. So congratulations. Like, what do I do with my hands? What do you want? Okay, that is not the thing we were just talking about, but if you say so. Before we go into the other examples, when you deflect positivity, first off, those who deflect positivity, and this is me with my table and the sign, challenge me on this, I dare you. This is me right here. When those of us who deflect positivity, who do not receive compliments, who find ways to just totally not even acknowledge that they happened, are the same people who say that nothing good ever happens to them, who say that they're not good enough, life sucks, that they're victims, that someday they'll be happy when, fill in the blank, that kind of stuff. Hello? People have been offering. Good things have been trying to come to you, but you have had your force field of armor, you've had your drawbridge up and closed, and you've been like the guys on Monty Python. He's coming to help him, and all he's doing is taunting him like, I know you're trying to help me, but go away, you silly English kniggit. Like, your mother was a hamster and your father smelled like elderberries. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, that's you. If you are not, okay, it's funny. Self-deprecating humor is funny. Until it's not. Robin Williams, classic example. Look how that turned out. And sadly, that's a big thing amongst comedians. It's a big thing that's, gained a lot more attention, unfortunately. Well, I mean, fortunately, because it needs to be brought to attention, it needs to be talked about. But often the people who joke around a lot are the saddest. And I forgot who it was, but there was a comedian who was actually talking about, like, it's my job to make fun of myself. Like, that's how I make money. It's my job to look at the world in a sardonic way, in a sarcastic way, in a cynical way. Yeah. So you're programming your life around looking for the bad. You're not letting the good in. What a conflicted life, man. And I even like watching that comedy. I like laughing about it, but then I immediately have to go find, I have to go watch, some annoying, adorable, I have to go watch, I can't even say, I have to go watch, Nailed It, or I have to go watch, honestly, I'll immediately go watch, The Great British Baking Show, or Zumbo's Just Desserts. I'll go watch something like that that's uplifting and lighthearted, because I don't want to I don't want to keep that programming of negativity inside of me. I don't want to go to bed with that swarming around in my subconscious, because I like looking at the world positively, because looking at the world positively helps me get through the day with a more positive attitude, helps me overcome challenges that I may not otherwise have overcome. The power of positivity. I mean, my neurologist was telling me yesterday, and I was like, do you know what I do for a living? Do you know what I do? Because he was just like, Positive mindset, positive mindset, positive mindset. I was like, you don't know me very well, do you? So it's like going to the Cosmic Cafe, if you saw that story, and being like, I just want food, and they bring you food, and you're just like, this is not what I wanted. Yeah, if you had just told me, I would have brought it. I'm here to serve you. The world, when we were little kids, evil parents, evil teachers, evil nuns, evil bosses, evil friends, parents, whoever it was who first told you that the world does not revolve around you, wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. This is not to be confused with egocentric people running around like, oh, the coronavirus doesn't affect me. I'm just going to run around and do all the things. And oops, I infected everybody. I killed everybody. It's not like that. The world does revolve around you. You are your own universe. You are your own planet. You are your own you. There is no one else like you. You are the only you. Physically, chemically, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, down to your DNA. There is no one. There has never been anyone. There will never be another you. You are the only you. Okay? So you've got now. And because you are the only you, everything happens for you so that you can go on. Remember, the universe, God, whatever your subscription is, doesn't create extra humans. There might be extras in movies, but there aren't extras in life. Remember, movies are a construct of the human creation. Humans are a construct of the divine. We all have a purpose. We all, whether it's on a mass scale or it's a smaller scale within your communities, within your family, within your organization, you have your passions for a reason. You have your goals for a reason to see them through. You were given those reasons to see them through. And playing small isn't serving those reasons. So when you're that little kid running around, la, 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 I want this, I want that, I want to do this, I want to do this, give me that, give me that. Not saying that you're entitled to all those things, but it's natural to feel worthy and to be like, I like that, mine please. I want that, mine please. Do they not say, my friends who are better versed in this than I, ask and it is given? This whole, it's got to be hard, it doesn't revolve around you. Yes, it does. You're like, if it doesn't revolve around you, then what? Why? What? Like, I'm looking around my apartment right now. I bought all this. So literally in quarantine, my entire world literally is revolving around me, right? Literally. Everything I've surrounded myself with. So do with that what furthers your goals, furthers your desires. And if somebody tells you no for what it is that you wish, get creative. Find another way. Why are they the source? That's source. This is source. That's another human with another human's goals, with another human's world, another human's planet going on. They're in their own orbit. Maybe they're not spinning in the same direction, so you just go find something else. Take that as you will. Career, relationship, project, whatever. Think about it in a macro scale. Look at all the planets. There are stars, planets, things we don't even know exist, and yet they can coexist. And they're all in their own orbits. They've all got their own things. And yes, there are consequences if one gets too close. And so cosmically, it's been figured out. We've got a lot more of us in a much smaller space. We're still figuring it out. But by telling people that the world doesn't revolve around you, that's not the way to go about it. That's the way to oppress and control. And I gather my viewers here, not really the people who are down with that. So when you are deflecting positivity, you are deflecting all of that. You're giving away your power. Remember that typhus thing, like, how can I receive if I'm not open? So when you're like, I don't have, I don't have the right relationship. I don't have the right job. I'm not making enough money. People are so mean to me. I never get the credit that I deserve. I never get the recognition I deserve. I don't have nice enough things. Like, da 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 da. What was the last nice thing somebody said or did for you? And how did you respond? Like, granted, we had a very flawed relationship from the start, but I love this example. When I would score 3 goals in a soccer game, and my mom would come up and congratulate me on those. And I, like, again, my issues were deep-seated, but so are yours. And these are the reasons. This is me trying to help you get back to why you're deflecting positivity. So first you have to notice what the thing is that you deflected, and then you can work backwards from there. She'd be like, hey, great game today. Are you kidding? I missed that pass. I could have scored more goals and I missed it. Do you see how many more goals I missed, right? We fixate on the things that we missed versus you scored 3 goals in a game. That's pretty awesome. Even professional soccer players don't usually score that many. That's awesome. And yet you're focusing on the 2 you missed. And we'd argue, and she'd offer me a ride home, and I was like, no, I'm just going to walk. I need to walk off my attitude. I could have just said, thanks, Mom. You know what? I did score 3 goals. That's pretty cool. Cool. I had my own issues, but I was blocking that positivity. I could have taken the good game from my coach. Instead, I was like, I have to be better. I have to prove to him that I can be captain. That's the perfectionist complex from not being enough. Go back and watch the other videos. It explains it. So other ways you can deflect positivity. That's a great outfit. Oh, this whole thing, it's not that great. It's a great outfit. You just deflected. You didn't even acknowledge that it's great. You said it's old, and you said it's not great. How about, oh, thank you. Or someone gives you a compliment, and you just kind of, you don't even say anything. And you look at the ground and you're just like, I don't know how to respond. It's like my mentor, when she talks about God not making any extra humans, she's like, when you are deflecting positivity and you are deflecting, not living up to your true purpose, you're not owning, standing in your own presence. You're saying you're not good enough. You're saying that things aren't great enough. It's literally looking at your creator, like you're looking at your creator going, like you're smacking God in the face, essentially, is basically what she says. Like, I gave you life. I gave you these gifts. I gave you these talents. I gave you these desires because I trust in you to carry these out. You're capable. Because Susie said you can't? Fuck Susie. Susie's got her own issues. Susie is on a totally different, she's got another agenda that I gave her. Don't worry about Susie. Susie, worry about you. So your assignment, if you will, for today is to write down the ways that you block positivity. And I'll bet you'll have even plenty of examples today alone of how you react. Remember, reacting versus responding. It's totally acceptable to just say thank you. We are conditioned, especially women in polite society, that we immediately have to compliment the other person because it's selfish to accept a compliment and not give it back. Watch some of your models graciously. Just thank you. when it comes from a place of calm and a place of peace, which you will get there, you can say thank you and not feel obligated or constrained or guilty. Anyway, that's my time. Thank you guys so much for being here. Kristen, you're not late. You're right on time. That's why these are recorded, my love. You had to do whatever you had to do, so you are good. Again, I appreciate you guys all so much for being here, supporting the Quarantine Network. We're almost at 10,000 viewers, you guys. My goodness. You guys are amazing. Stay tuned. I'll see you guys at 11:05 Pacific Standard Time, 2:05 Eastern Standard Time today. We're back to, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Today's Wednesday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're going to do that at the regular time. Tuesday, Thursday, it's going to be mixed up. So just check Quarantine Network at the top of the cover page every morning. They've got the schedule so you can see it. So I'll see you back here in a few hours for your midday mindset shift in about 4 hours. Again, thank you guys so much for being here. And as always, cough in your elbow, wash your hands, and stay the home. Love y'all.